Mason Smith.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so much
me.
for being on the show today. You came in here because not only have we started working together professionally
Yep.
with the Drooling Banjos podcast,
Yep.
but also you had me on your podcast,
Yep,
the High
High
Noon
Noon,
podcast, and I noticed this old sumbitch got a drum set in the corner.
Oh yeah, it's kind of where it stays.
Then I had the pleasure of hearing you drum, bro. I got to tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, people are a little shocked. By the way, where's the fucking camera at?
It's right there.
Where is it?
Yeah, right there. That little sumbitch right there. It's on a
Oh,
gimbal.
fuck.
I hate technology, but
But also you like it.
but you have a digital drum set. Is that a preference or is that more of a?
I got that out of my ex-wife one year. Shout out Carrie, love of my life. We're still very much in love.
Hell yeah. I've heard the whole thing. We don't have to get into it.
Yeah, but so
He's not lying.
one year for my birthday, she was like, "Do you want to get back into?" Because she knew I was a drummer.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Do you want to get back into drumming? Because I think I'm going to get you a drum set, but I'm going to get you an electronic kit.
Yeah.
That way, because we lived in an apartment. She's like, that way you can have like headphones in and you can play." Not quietly, but
Yeah.
it's not going to bother anybody.
It's still loud. It's still technically loud in an apartment, but it's loud like
You're hearing,
like
that's
somebody
what you're
doing a home
hearing.
exercise.
Yeah.
It's like if you're doing fucking jazzercise, it's the
Right.
same idea.
yeah, it honestly is a pretty cool design because
Yeah.
I can plug headphones in and you would just hear me hitting on pads.
Yeah.
That's all you would hear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I actually would like that. So she buys me this drum set and I set it all up. I'm so excited and I start playing and it comes, drums I think are the one thing that a musician you never lose that.
Because you can always. My favorite thing about percussion in general, because I've always been like I've always wanted to be a drummer. I always play. You
See,
saw the
I
bass.
always wanted to play guitar.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Nobody. It's like comics in general being musicians.
Yeah, we love rock stars.
Yeah, we always want to be musicians, and musicians are always like, "How do you get
Comedy's
up there all
great.
by yourself?" And it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, but nobody respects a solo musician.
Yeah, right. Like if you're just like playing acoustic guitar,
they're
just
like,
like by yourself.
all
Yeah.
right,
It's like,
hippie.
all right, Bob Dylan.
So but I always wanted to be a drummer, and I'd always think like it's the thing where like no matter where you are, you can always kind of like practice.
Of course,
like, you
dude.
can,
I
like,
play in the car all
keep
the
your
time.
timing down. You can air
When
drum.
I'm in the gym, I listen to metal when I'm in the gym. That's
Right.
my go-to. I have a playlist that's all metal,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm constantly air drumming.
It's
like,
perfect
in
for
the
the
gym.
bike too. Like I found like
the
listening
what?
like
Oh,
a
bicycle.
like for cardio and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like Unearth especially. It's like something where it's just a driving
Dude,
double
I love
bass.
it. I'm a huge Lamb of God fan.
Yeah. Another
Devil
one, yeah.
Driver. Like all the
Meshuggah would be another one.
all
That's
of
like,
the 2000s to mid 2000s like metal that got
Bro,
quote
that's
unquote
the show.
mainstream.
yeah.
You know, a lot of people used to shit on Lamb of God. They were like, it's too mainstream, and it's like, yeah, you know why it's mainstream? Because they're awesome.
Because it's good.
Because it's good.
Right.
We used to call it groove metal. I don't know if that's actually a real term.
I
but
would
we,
say that, yeah.
We called it groove metal.
I call Meshuggah and Tool like drug chug.
Oh, dude,
know
I
what I
love.
mean?
I mean,
Like-
Tool.
Yeah.
I still listen. I've seen Tool 4 times.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lo-
Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah,
I forgot
I
again.
absolutely love Tool.
Yeah, that
I do it. Stop playing the stuff off the new album for
Yeah.
the love of God.
Yeah, please. Like everybody wants. We
Like
know.
Tempest is cool, but like,
I like
Come on.
those. I like those themes though. I like sometimes when like a band will go out with like doing like the full record, or something like that.
Sturgill's doing that
And-
right now.
And a lot of these bands, well, like Lamb of God, I think even I would assume Tool eventually will do we're gonna play blah
Just
blah blah in the
this.
entirety, and
Yeah.
you know, like or
We're
whatever.
gonna play
it is.
Enema front to back.
Yeah, you know what I mean, something like that where they can like I still said this, and I think you were one of the people that shouted along, bro. Tool at the Sphere
It would be
would
amazing,
be like-
phenomenal.
and that's exactly
gonna
what-
happen.
They should do a residency where they do like the whole week. Monday they do blah 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 album.
Right.
Tuesday they do blah 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 album.
This one, yeah,
and then like they'll throw in.
10,000 days or 10,000 eyes or days.
I honestly, you know what's really funny is I have a Tool is such a big band and such a huge deal, and I'm willing to recognize that. I have never really been into Tool.
Oh, really?
But I respect the hell out of them.
Oh,
I
they're
hate,
so good.
For the most part, their fans are always because I always heard, have you ever seen Tool live? You got to see them live.
They're amazing.
And they're always like, then you got to take this drug. And then I was like, and not that I'm straight edge. I'm not by any means. I'll take drugs. Hey, I'm cool, guys.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not a cop.
I'm really cool, guys.
Trust me.
But anyway,
He's gonna be coming down the stairs in 5
yeah,
minutes.
guys, he's got him. No, I think there's just a thing where like I respect even the Grateful Dead and other bands like that have these like incredibly large loyal fan
But
bases.
and they have a lure.
Yeah, and they
like,
have this
behind
thing.
them,
I
too.
respect the fuck out of that.
Right.
Like, but I don't necessarily like the music, but I
Right.
still would say I would probably want to see Tool in the Sphere. Because then I would be like, this is like seeing a Christopher Nolan movie in the Sphere.
And you're also the other thing about Tool is they're all so they're all so over it. They only do it now as cash grab and
Yeah.
not even for the fans. Like Maynard has openly admitted, like he did a
Mm-hmm.
Bert Kreischer's podcast, and openly said, because Bert was like, when you're making a new album, are you thinking about the fans or anything? And he's like, I don't give a fuck about the fans.
Yeah, and I
Literally,
believe him. Yeah,
He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's like, I do what we do because I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna last much longer.
See, growing
because his voice is so his hips have been driven down to the bone from all of the years of touring.
Yeah, yeah.
So he physically is kind of on his way out, and his vocals. That's why on that newest album, there's not a lot of vocals on on that album.
Yeah.
The band got together, made that album, and sent him the music, and he put vocals to it.
Well, he
that's why.
could, yeah.
That's why when you listen to that new album, there's not a lot of vocals.
That's really interesting. I didn't realize that, and people don't think about the long-term effects of a lot of these, like a lot, because I remember hearing, and it's all funny because for the longest time it's just what you hear, and it's just your perception of a lot of these bands, and then you get the luxury of hearing these really in-depth interviews or podcasts after a couple years, or when you get older and you realize like, holy shit, this is a very demanding thing. When I heard I think it was the guitar player from Dillinger Escape Plan having to get like neck surgery or something like that because of
Headbanging.
Going around. There's the band The Chariot that I used to love going to see, and like that's a band where I'm like, there's no way they're not hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Some way,
they're-
at least every third show or something like that. They're not whacking each other in the head with a guitar.
It's not like they're going to hold back.
Yeah.
Because they want to put. Also, yeah, it's like the same thing when we do stand up. Even though we might be doing the
It's
same.
exactly the same.
We
It's
might be
Dillinger
doing,
Escape Plan and
Yeah.
me doing stand up, exact same show, guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we're headbanging while we're doing our punch
If you have epilepsy, do not come see me do stand up.
but you know, like you have like your act, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like you probably have like an hour, I would assume, right?
yeah, roughly 40 minutes, 45 minutes, yeah.
Right. So when you do those jokes, when you set foot on stage, you automatically go into even though I've said these jokes for 2 years or
Right.
something, whatever that may be, you still give that 110%. And in the moment you go, oh, I do still enjoy telling these.
Yeah, oh.
I think it's the same with music.
Yeah.
They're like, I've played Cherry Pie a million times and I
Right.
hate that fucking song. But when I
But they
get
get
on that
that-
stage,
yeah.
I'm going to get into it no matter what for those 3 minutes.
When they start playing the opening like couple notes or something like that, and people go, oh.
Yeah, that feeling never goes away.
what I
And I'm
mean? Like,
sure it's the same
yeah.
for musicians.
Yeah, it has to be because there's a level of to me in general it's execution. So I'm seeing parallels so much when I get like the older I get in comedy, music, and like pro wrestling, like sports in general, like storylines, fucking like history, fucking but mainly execution, performance.
Right.
It's all when you see all of those people are all artists. Do you know what I mean? They're all whether they're physical artists, they're mental artists, they're painters, musicians, chefs, anything like that. Like it all comes down to like execution. Anybody is capable of any of these things.
Right.
But these people that stand out are the ones that were the most passionate about this thing.
Right.
And like, I just also love the fact that a musician like Maynard James Keenan, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
I say that. I see again.
Yeah,
I know,
Maynard James Keenan.
I know
that's
that.
lead singer of Tool. Yeah.
But I've never really even listened to a whole album of theirs all the way through. You know
like
what I
a
mean?
Perfect Circle. the other
Actually, a
one?
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that hit. Their
Judith is great.
That big
Three
hit.
Libras.
Yeah.
Outsider.
Yeah.
Pet is a great one.
Well, I again like so now I'm learning with like doing the show with Andy and stuff like that where we kind of both connected. We fill in each other's gaps. No Diddy. About with music. So like the shit that he was like super into, I was kind of like that's bullshit, but I was into these things and he didn't pay attention. So like where he's loving My Chemical Romance and staying up with all that stuff, I was listening to like Leftover Crack and Choking Victim.
Yes, yeah. Is that like punk?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Those names sounded like that'd be a punk band.
There's like pop punk, emo, all this
See,
other shit.
now
you
I
know?
never got into the only punk that, and I know this probably is not. I don't. Is Blink-182 still considered?
Yeah, pop
And
punk.
so radio punk, I guess I would say.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
the stuff that was on the radio when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Would be like Green Day, Blink-182, and that stuff I liked.
Yeah.
You know, as an 8th grader.
But you
know?
wouldn't get down and you wouldn't like get your hands dirty.
No,
and
I
get,
was more
like,
into like I liked fucking metal.
Right.
And like, and I say metal, but like I liked.
Come on, Bubba.
You know, like Shinedown was big for me growing up. Chevelle.
Yeah.
Deftones was huge for me.
So what do you think was your biggest like your drumming influence?
Lamb of God.
Lamb of God. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the one that
Well,
you.
to be fair, so I started playing. My grandfather, R.I.P., bought me my first drum set when I was 11 years old. From, do you know what Hastings is?
Hastings.
It's like a
Like a chain?
shittier version of Blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
But we had them in the South. We had
yeah.
them in Arkansas growing up. Went out of business, obviously, as all of those did. But we had one in my hometown, and they had an area in the back that was like the you know, like Spencer's Gifts.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically a Spencer's. They had fun little gag gifts, board games,
Yeah.
and then they had really cheap instruments for sale.
That's really cool.
And they had a drum set there. It was called it was a Mark II was the brand, and it was a bass drum with a snare and one tom, no cymbals, and a hi hat. So it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, like a 5-piece kit.
yeah.
So basically.
And how old were you again?
I was 11.
Okay, yeah.
And I taught
That's
myself.
fucking sick, dude.
I taught myself how to play
Yeah.
because my mom still loves music. My mom's favorite band is Disturbed. Like she
so
loves
cool.
Disturbed, and so she was showing me all these old '80s bands back before drumming got like crazy. Like back when it was basically like AC/DC.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
drummer's just keeping time.
He's
He's not-
He is he's like a reliable ass drummer.
Absolutely.
He's tasteful,
But
like not too crazy.
but not to be like putting any shade on him, but that's a good band to learn how to play drums to.
exactly, yes.
Because
Well,
that's
everybody-
a basic beat.
Well, everybody that plays guitar learns, I think, Smoke on the Water first. Or
Exactly.
something like one of those things where, like, at one time, that's a groundbreaking song, but that after a while, you're like, no, it's really.
I can actually
It's
play
like
that.
Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's the
Yeah.
same time signature as like. Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop.
Dum,
Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum.
Right,
I actually can do that, and I don't even know how to play.
Exactly. It's like one of those things. If I gave you a guitar, you could like
I
in
could
your
do
head.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So you're self-taught mainly on
So,
drums.
so
or-
anyway, so my mom showed me all this music.
Yeah.
My mom showed me Alice in Chains, and I love Alice in Chains because of her.
That's pretty sick.
And so she showed me Metallica, Pantera. She got me into Pantera.
Hell
I have
yeah.
a Pantera tattoo.
Fuck yeah.
Like and then so 11 to like 14, I'm just playing in my room or wherever the drum set was at that time, wherever we were living. And then when I was in 8th grade, I upgraded and I got a real drum set that had 2 toms, a bass, a snare, and 2 cymbals, and a floor tom.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was a game changer.
Yeah.
That's when I really started cooking. All self-taught. I would put headphones on, and every day
Yeah.
after school, I would just play by myself for hours.
I was like that for such a long time with when I first got my first bass. Like it was it was a first act like.
so
bass
Mark II
amp
is
thing.
that's the
Same thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it would be that, but it would be like without question, at least an hour a day or
Every
so.
day.
It wasn't like, oh, I'd plan this out. It would just be I would happen to every single day just keep going. Just
Right,
play,
yeah.
play. Learn very simple songs or whatever I could, punk songs and stuff. But the same idea. So I can imagine. And when I got my first like amp and my first like standalone bass, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, and feeling that, I can imagine the power of that floor tom when you fucking just.
Oh,
like,
when I got that
Yeah.
first real drum
Yeah.
drum set, I was like, man, I'm actually getting. And then I got a double pedal.
And then you start sounding better to yourself. Like you're like,
Yeah,
oh shit,
I
I know
started
what
to
I'm doing.
notice.
I sound like a drummer now.
And
Yeah.
then the biggest step forward was when we moved back to my hometown. We spent like a year in a town that was like an hour from my hometown, and that's where I started really getting good.
Are you playing? Do you have like a garage or like somewhere that you can play?
Pretty much, yeah. When we came back to my home, so for the longest time, my drum set was in our living room,
Oh wow.
and my mom didn't care. She
That's
supported
so fucking
it.
cool, dude.
So my drum set was
Hell
in
yeah.
the home,
That's
in the
a-
living room. But here's what was cool. He's a piece of shit, and I don't like talking about him.
Okay.
But my stepdad at the time
Fuck you.
was also a guitar player, and he was actually really good. So we would jam together.
Okay, yeah.
So that was a huge step in getting better too.
That's valuable.
Is having him in the home and us jamming. It always ended with us arguing.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
But so we moved back to my hometown. I got the drum set in the garage, and then I go back to school, and I start telling people like, hey, I'm trying to like start a band.
Yeah.
So these older kids find out that I can play, and they all come to my house because the drummer is always where the practice space is.
Of course, yeah.
Because we have the most. It's like our
You're not
shit.
you're not moving it around.
And because of that stepdad, we had our own PA system.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we had a full setup in our garage, and I get in my first band when I was 14.
Hell yeah. What was the name?
That one I don't remember.
Okay.
That I don't remember. But we played a lot of covers from that emo band. They have that song reinventing your exit.
You played against me?
Uh,
Reinventing Axl Rose? Oh, sorry.
no, what was that? They come up in my Spotify sometimes.
Do you remember the name of that song? again? What was it?
Reinventing our exit was the name of the song. I can picture the fucking name of the band, dude. But they were they were one of the first bands that had a singer and a screamer. They had two vocalists.
Exit?
Under Oath.
Under
That's the
Oath.
band.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So we were pretty much trying to be Under Oath. I had never heard this type of music. I remember I auditioned for this band.
Uh-huh.
They came over and they gave me 20 minutes to listen to this one song.
Uh-huh.
And they said, you got 20 minutes, and when you get done, we're just going to play it, and we're going to see how it goes.
Okay.
And I killed. Like, I nailed it.
Now
Like,
you were the drummer in this band. Now, famously in Under Oath, the drummer also was I believe, wasn't he one of the lead, or if the lead singer? Were you expected to sing as well?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
No, we had two guys.
Okay.
We had two vocalists. We had
You had the two vocalists,
yeah,
and then
'cause
you were just the drummer.
They were
Okay.
trying to basically be this band.
Right.
Minus me not being the,
By the way,
singer.
fun fact: I grew up in Florida. Under Oath is a Florida band.
Oh, okay.
They're Florida boys.
Well, so I got
Florida
the,
Christian band.
they were a Christian
Very
band.
Christian,
That's
yeah.
right. So I got the gig, and we played, for probably like a year, but it was always just garage band stuff. We never actually played any shows. And then we moved to this big house in a town next to my hometown that had a huge basement that was like its own apartment.
Yeah.
And that's where we set up the most badass band room that any teenager could have ever wished
Did
for.
you have Christmas lights?
No, but we hung up records on the wall.
Yeah.
And then we had our own PA. And at this point, I sold that drum set and upgraded to a double bass Pearl drum set with a wraparound Gibraltar rack with cymbals going from a 6-inch splash all the way up to like a 16 crash.
Brother, my prime setup. That's your probably.
It was
your peak.
that was peak.
You feel peak, yeah,
That
bro.
was peak.
Where I feel like there is a good chance, and I'm just speculating on your end, but I know for a fact at one point with how serious I was and with like how much I gave attention to the tone of my bass and like I was fucking with the knobs and all this other shit, making sure everything's
Right.
perfect, getting pedals, all this other shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like. I'm
doing
I
it.
could do
I'm
this.
gonna make
I
it.
could do. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like it felt like I was over the hump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you
Once
get
it
that
starts
set up,
clicking that way,
and that setup, like the room, and it's perfect, and it's fucking like, and
I
like,
just got goosebumps.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
bro, let's start a band.
Yeah, dude, let's do
get
it.
a fucking.
I got a
space,
drum
bro.
set.
I got a bass.
Yeah, that we just need to find someone that plays guitar.
we just need
We'll
out-
get Yonder.
Yeah.
Yonder fucking rips.
bro.
And he sings, so we don't need a singer.
we need to sing. Does he sing or does he scream? Because we'll need to.
Oh no, he
We're
sings.
doing an Under Oath cover band.
Oh,
No.
okay, gotcha.
I'm bringing you back to your roots.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you got me as pumped as you just got pumped
Yeah.
when you were talking about the.
Dude, it was the cool. And also, by the way, I'm 16 at this point now.
Yeah, that's peak.
And I get another. I meet these guys
Yeah.
through a friend from high school. I'm in 10th grade at this point. Yeah, 11th grade because I just started. My birthday fell in June, so I was young.
Who had the
For high school.
Who had the band moving vehicle?
So that was always on. I was always the one. So when
Always
so
the
all right,
drummer.
I'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm 16.
Yeah.
And I'm getting fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm legitimately getting very good. And I meet these older guys that were dropouts. They're not even in school.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest one was 18. Then the other one was like a year older than me, so he was like 17, and the other one was like 17. We're all teenagers. None of them are in school. I'm the only one still in high school.
Nice.
They all dropped out. they're already smoking weed.
Not usually a
Like-
drummer trait, by the way. Drummer is usually the one that's like kind of famously, at least from my
That
experience,
drops out?
always the one that's like mooching off the rest of the band.
Well, see,
That's really
but
cool.
see,
You're
I-
the most responsible drummer.
I had the rich mom
Yeah.
that had the nice house with the practice space with all the equipment.
Yeah.
So they would come. I had my own PA.
And I will say this: from hearing you, and this is me. I'm not just saying this because you're here, but listening to that song that you played for us.
Yeah.
It was legitimately. It's good. You're good,
Dude, we
like
were
if you're like usually that drummer, the one that you're explaining, where I'm like I had the practice space, I have the best setup, I got all this stuff, I got the PA. Usually sucks.
right because it's
Yeah.
just a rich kid that like
Right.
yeah
That's
right.
just like bought his way into a band. But like
Right.
you being all that stuff, and I can say legitimately, he's not paying me. That I think is like you were holding your own in that band.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like so, like that's a pretty cool thing, and I can definitely hear the Pantera influence as well.
Oh yeah, dude.
You
I
know?
mean, I was obsessed with Pantera and Lamb of God.
So
I actually bought a longboard pedal
uh-huh.
so I could do heel toe, and I spent hours watching Chris Adler.
Uh-huh.
Chris Adler actually put out. This was years. Well, like they had already put out Sacrament,
Uh-huh.
which was their biggest album that they filmed a DVD of. They toured that album for 2 years straight, never went home, and it's actually the DVD where Mark Morton fought Randy Blythe on the tour bus.
Oh, really?
Physically assaulted each other because they were so sick of being around each other.
I heard so
it almost
many-
broke up the whole band. Which, little side note, Mark Morton quit Lamb of God a few years ago
Uh-huh.
and actually just put out an album playing country music with a bunch of features. So Cody Jinks did one, Jason Isbell's on one. Super cool. It's Mark Morton. I just listened to it. I just saw it the other day. I forget what it was called. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I get a longboard because I'm like, Chris Adler's doing heel toe. I need to learn heel toe. And he's got a tutorial from years and years ago of teaching you how to play Ruin, which is one of their like huge songs
the hits,
off
yeah.
of As the Palaces Burn.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm obsessed with Lamb of God and Pantera and double bass.
Yeah.
To this day, I really don't feel like I'm a good drummer without having 2 feet.
Okay.
If I have to play a single pedal, I feel very handicapped,
Oh wow.
and I do not feel like I'm good at all.
I gotta say, that was a thing that when I started to try to like, so there's a short time that I was living with friends of mine, and they had a drum set in the house, and it was out. This was no parents, like they were, this was their place that they were renting, and I moved in with them as a roommate. But she had a drum set already set up,
Yeah.
with a double bass pedal, and I remember everybody being like, "You don't want to learn on a double bass. You want?" I'm like, "But I want to play double bass."
I will say it
Like, I
sort of fucked
understand.
me over.
I could still
because
play
I feel
the-
handicapped without it.
I could understand that, but I could see like if like to break that habit, you can always just not play the double. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure, but I like it. We practiced for every single week for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Till my senior year when I graduated and my mom sold that house.
Uh-huh.
Until that point, we did not miss 1 week of every Tuesday and Thursday practicing for about 2 hours a day.
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm
Every
saying.
Tuesday and Thursday.
That's our peak, guys.
And we played shows.
Yeah.
We would do house parties.
Yep.
We would put shows on my deck or on my. We had this massive carport, this concrete carport.
Yeah.
With a huge yard. I had a motocross track in my backyard too. I used to race motocross.
You really?
Yeah.
Okay. So there, like again, the fact that you have talent and ability is crazy because you definitely sound like you should be in a like a rich spoiled kind of element. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
right.
That you should be this like me. It's like entitled. Like you're very humble. It seems like you have only child energy.
Oh, I do. Oh, I am.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
See?
yeah. And
That's what I'm saying,
by the
like,
way, that's no secret.
you would